There's a level of discipline that doesn't ask for your comfort. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care if you're ready. It's the kind that strips a man down to nothing, then rebuilds him from bone and will alone. The kind that makes modern self-improvement look like a children's game. The kind that separates warriors from pretenders. Miyamoto Musashi fought 60 duels to the death before he turned 30. He lived in caves. He starved himself. He chose isolation over comfort, discipline over dopamine, and silence over validation. His life inspired a protocol so brutal that most men would quit before sunrise on day 2. This is not a productivity hack. This is not a morning routine. This is the 100-day forge. And if you make it through, you won't recognize the man staring back at you in the mirror. But here's the thing. Most of you won't even start. Let's be honest about what's killing you. It's not lack of time. It's not bad genetics. It's not your childhood trauma or your boss or your girlfriend. It's the fact that your brain has been rewired to crave comfort every 11 seconds. Every notification is a dopamine spike. Every like is a hit. Every scroll is a micro-escape from the discomfort of being present with your own thoughts. Your ancestors fought wolves. You fight boredom. And you're losing. The epidemic isn't laziness. It's chemical dependency disguised as convenience. Social media platforms are engineered by neuroscientists who understand your limbic system better than you do. They've turned your attention into a commodity and your willpower into a joke. Musashi understood something most modern men will never grasp. Discipline isn't built in moments of inspiration. It's forged in the exact moments when every fiber of your being screams to quit. The samurai didn't wait for motivation. They moved when it hurt most. They trained when exhausted. They meditated when their minds were storms. Here's what the 100-day protocol demands. No social media, no processed sugar, no pornography, no alcohol, no complaining, no excuses. 20 minutes of cold exposure daily. 1 hour of silence. Physical training until failure. And complete isolation from anyone who enables your weakness. Before you even think about starting, you need to accept something Musashi wrote about in his Dokudo. This isn't metaphorical poetry. This is strategic psychology. You must mentally kill the version of yourself that seeks comfort. That man is already dead. You're building his replacement from scratch. Most men fail because they negotiate. They say, I'll do 90%. They say, I'll start Monday. They say, just one cheat day. But the protocol doesn't bend. It breaks you or it rebuilds you. There's no middle ground. The science backs this up. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for discipline and delayed gratification, has been systematically weakened by years of instant rewards. You've trained your brain to expect pleasure without effort. The 100-day forge reverses that neural pathway through controlled suffering. Day 1 through 20 is detachment. You're cutting every thread that connects you to cheap dopamine. No exceptions, no substitutes. This phase isn't about building new habits. It's about starving the old ones until they die. And yes, you'll feel like you're dying too. October 13, 1603. Dawn breaks cold over Ichijoji Sagarimatsu, a crossroads marked by a single pine tree on the outskirts of Kyoto. Musashi is 21 years old. His reputation has spread like smoke through the warrior class. The Yoshioka clan, once the most prestigious sword school in Japan, has been humiliated twice by this nameless ronin. Their leader killed. Their second killed. Now they want blood. But they don't come alone. 80 armed men wait under that pine tree. Archers hidden in the brush. Swordsmen positioned in a crescent formation. spearmen blocking every escape route. This isn't a duel. It's an execution, dressed up as honor. Musashi arrives early. He doesn't walk the main road. He circles through the forest, studying the terrain, counting heads, identifying weak points in their formation. When the Yoshioka clan finally sees him, he's already behind their line. He's holding 2 wooden swords. Not steel, wood. The insult lands harder than any blade. The battle is chaos. Musashi moves like water through stone. He doesn't fight 80 men. He fights 8 clusters of 10, isolating groups, using their numbers against them, turning their confidence into chaos. Matashihiro, the young clan heir thrust forward as symbolic leader, falls in the opening exchange. What follows is devastating. Musashi cuts through a dozen clan members and escapes the ambush. By the time the sun fully rises, the Yoshioka school's reputation is shattered. Within a generation, it dissolves into history. But here's what most people miss. The victory didn't happen during the fight. It happened hours before, when Musashi refused to play by their rules. He arrived early. He studied the ground. He controlled the tempo. He eliminated the advantage of numbers by refusing to be where they expected him. The Yoshioka clan assumed the duel would happen at dawn, at the pine tree, according to tradition. Musashi understood that tradition is just another word for predictable. And predictable men die. This is the hidden strategy. Your enemies, whether they're bad habits or toxic people or your own weakness, they rely on patterns. They expect you to show up where you always show up, when you always show up, behaving how you always behave. The moment you break the pattern, you control the battlefield. After the slaughter at the Pine, Musashi didn't celebrate. He didn't brag. He disappeared. For months, he lived in caves practicing meditation and swordsmanship. No human contact, no distractions, just silence, meditation, and the slow erosion of everything he thought he knew about himself. This wasn't retreat. This was tactical isolation. Most men avoid being alone because they're terrified of what they'll find in the silence. The voice that tells them they're frauds. The memories they've been running from. The gap between who they pretend to be and who they actually are. Musashi chose isolation because he understood something modern psychology is just now catching up to. Your environment controls your behavior more than your willpower does. If you're surrounded by weak men, you'll become weak. If you're surrounded by distractions, you'll stay distracted. If you stay in the same place expecting different results, you're not disciplined. You're delusional. Isolation forces confrontation with yourself, with your thoughts, with the uncomfortable truth that most of your identity is borrowed from people who don't have your best interests at heart. In his later work, Musashi wrote about the concept of void, a state where the warrior perceives that which cannot be seen with the eye. Not emptiness, not numbness, but a state of awareness so sharp that understanding transcends conventional knowledge. This is absolute freedom and spontaneity, where action occurs without conscious hesitation. Here's how you apply this in modern life. You need to create your own cave. Not literally, but a space, physical or temporal, where no one can reach you. No phone, no notifications, no people. 1 hour minimum, daily, where you sit with the discomfort of your own thoughts without distraction. In that hour, the noise dies, and underneath the noise, you'll find clarity. This is where most men fail the protocol. They can handle physical suffering, cold showers, fasting, brutal workouts. They'll push through. But silence? That's where they break. Because silence reveals what you've been hiding from. The modern mind is addicted to stimulation. Studies show the average person checks their phone 85 times per day. That's not connectivity. That's compulsion. You're not staying informed. You're staying numb. Musashi's isolation wasn't about escaping the world. It was about mastering his response to it. When he returned to society, external chaos couldn't touch him because he'd already faced internal chaos and won. Days 51 through 80 of the protocol are called the void. You've detached from cheap dopamine. You've built new patterns. Now you maintain those patterns while external pressure increases. Life will throw chaos at you. People will test you. Old temptations will resurface disguised as just this once. This is where the concept of Zanshin becomes critical. Zanshin means remaining mind, a state of total unbroken focus and awareness even when exhausted. In martial arts, it's the awareness of your surroundings, the people in it, and all possibilities that relate to a given situation. You don't react, you respond with precision, with calmness, with the understanding that suffering is temporary, but discipline is permanent. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start today, right now. Here's exactly what you do. Phase 1. Days 1 through 20. Cut every dopamine source. Delete social media apps. Not take a break. Delete. Block adult websites using cold turkey or freedom. Remove processed sugar from your house. Pour the alcohol down the drain. Tell your friends you're unavailable. This isn't negotiable. Every morning, cold shower. Minimum 3 minutes. Don't ease into it. Jump in. Let the shock reset your nervous system. This isn't about toughness. It's about teaching your body that discomfort doesn't kill you. Eat to fuel the machine, not to indulge the senses. No processed food. No cheap dopamine. Lean protein. Vegetables. Rice. Plan your meals around activity level and training intensity. If you're strength training intensively, your body needs adequate fuel to build muscle and recover. No snacks. No healthy treats. Your hunger is information, not an emergency. Learn to sit with it. Physical training. 6 days per week. Doesn't matter if it's calisthenics, running, lifting, or martial arts. What matters is you push until failure. Rest, then push again. Track your progress. Write it down. Numbers don't lie. 1 hour of silence. No music. No podcasts. No audiobooks. Sit. Breathe. When thoughts come, and they will, don't fight them. Observe them like clouds passing. This builds the mental muscle you'll need for phases 2 and 3. Phase 2. Days 21 through 50. You've severed the chains. Now you build new ones. Add journaling. Every night, write 3 things you did that required discipline. Not 3 things you're grateful for. 3 moments where you chose hard over easy. Add reading. 30 minutes minimum. Philosophy, history, strategy. No fiction. No self-help. You're feeding your mind combat rations, not candy. The 40% rule. When your brain screams quit, you're only 40% done. Your body gives up long before your actual limit. This mental barrier exists in every discipline. Push through the voice. Phase 3. Days 51 through 80. Maintain everything. Increase intensity. Longer training sessions. Colder showers. Heavier weights. The protocol doesn't plateau. You do. Phase 4. Days 81 through 100. Integration. You're not white-knuckling anymore. The discipline is automatic. You don't think about the cold shower. You just take it. You don't debate the workout. You just go. This is the new normal. At day 100, assess. Who were you on day 0? Compare that man to who you are now. The gap will be undeniable. David Goggins talks about callousing the mind. He's right, but he's describing the surface. Musashi went deeper. Goggins built mental calluses through repetition and suffering. Run 100 miles. Do 4,000 pull-ups. Break your body until your mind hardens. That works, but it's reactive. You're responding to external pain. Musashi's resolve was proactive. He didn't wait for life to test him. He created tests. He chose the cave. He chose poverty. He chose isolation. He weaponized discomfort before discomfort could weaponize him. The difference is subtle but critical. Goggins survived Hell Week. Musashi designed his own Hell Week, then lived it for years. One is adaptation. The other is architecture. You need both. The 100-day protocol isn't about surviving. It's about redesigning. You're not enduring temporary pain to return to comfortable normalcy. You're building a new baseline where discipline is default and comfort is optional. Here's the ultimatum. You're watching this video because something inside you knows you're capable of more. You feel it every time you compromise. Every time you hit snooze. Every time you choose easy over necessary. That feeling is correct. But feelings don't build discipline. Action does. And action requires a decision that most men will never make. The decision to stop negotiating with weakness. You have two paths. Path 1, you close this video, you go back to scrolling, and in 5 years, you're still the same person complaining about the same problems. Path 2, you start the protocol today. Right now. No preparation. No getting ready. You just begin. Musashi didn't become Musashi because he had perfect conditions. He became Musashi because he refused to wait for them. This channel, Katana Mindset, exists for the men who choose Path 2. Subscribe if you're serious about the Forge. Ignore if you're not. But understand this. The world doesn't care about your potential. It cares about what you do. And right now, you're doing nothing. Musashi wrote in the Book of Void, "Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye." He meant this. Your discipline is invisible until tested. Your character is theoretical until pressure reveals it. The 100-day protocol is that pressure. Contained, controlled. Designed to break the weak version of you so the strong version can surface. You are no longer the man who started this video. You're the man who will decide in the next 60 seconds whether to prove it or pretend it.